What's up everyone, and welcome back to 10 Binge. If you're a horror fan like me, you know it's all about finding those spine-chilling flicks that you just can't stop thinking about. Well, today I've got you covered with my top 10 best horror movies you need to watch in 2025. These movies are all kinds of creepy, thrilling, and just straight up wild. So grab your favorite blanket because these flicks are going to keep you up at night, and let's jump in for number 10. Home Sweet Home: Rebirth. A horror action flick that runs for 1 hour and 33 minutes and has a 4.3 out of 10 rating. It's definitely on the wild side. Not the best rating out there, but if you're into chaotic demon madness with some family-driven motivation, it's got that going for it. The plot drops us right into a nightmare. A city suddenly taken over by a horde of possessed people acting totally unhinged. In the middle of it all, there's this cop trying to stay alive while tracking down whatever evil force is behind the mess, mainly because his family's caught up in it too. It had B-movie energy with decent scares and an intense pace, which sums it up well. It's not winning awards, but it moves fast and doesn't hold back on the creepy visuals. If you're cool with a bit of camp and just want a supernatural ride that doesn't take itself too seriously, maybe give it a late-night spin. Moving to number 9. Control Freak runs 1 hour and 44 minutes with a 4.5 out of 10 rating. While it's not exactly polished cinema, but it is one of the weirder horror ideas to hit recently. The setup? A high-energy motivational speaker starts losing her grip after developing a relentless itch on her head. Sounds small, but it spirals fast. Turns out she's infected with some parasitic demon tied to her roots, and things get increasingly gross, chaotic, and downright bizarre. It's like watching self-help meet body horror in the worst way possible. And honestly, that sums it up. You're not getting big scares or deep storytelling, but there's a kind of manic, unhinged energy to it that might appeal to fans of offbeat horror. It's rough, messy, and absolutely not for everyone. But if you're in the mood for something trashy, weird, and strangely specific, this might scratch that itch. Literally. Now number 8. Ash clocks in at 1 hour and 35 minutes with a 4.7 out of 10 rating. So yeah, expectations shouldn't be sky high. But if you like slow burn sci-fi horror with a claustrophobic vibe, there's something oddly compelling here. It kicks off with a woman waking up alone on a strange planet, only to find her crew savagely murdered. No backup, no answers, just silence and blood. As she pieces things together, it spirals into something darker. Mysterious forces, memory gaps, and a real sense of you're not alone. It's visually slick but heavy on atmosphere over action, and that's spot on. It's not really here to thrill you every second. It wants to make you squirm and second guess what's real. Not for action junkies, but if you like isolated horror that leans weird and eerie, it could be worth a moody evening watch. For number 7, 825 Forest Road clocks in at 1 hour and 41 minutes with a 5 out of 10 rating. So it's sitting right in that middle ground where things could go either way. It's not going to blow your mind, but it's got a certain eerie charm. The story kicks off with Chuck Wilson, who's trying to pick up the pieces after a rough loss. He moves to the seemingly quiet town of Ashland Falls with his wife and younger sister just looking for peace. But of course, nothing stays peaceful for long. The town has secrets, creepy, slow burn, whisper in the dark kind of secrets. It leans heavy on atmosphere with a few well-timed scares and a mystery that keeps you guessing, even if the payoff isn't groundbreaking. Some scenes feel stretched, but if you're patient, there are moments of real tension. If you're into small-town horror with a moody vibe and don't mind a slower pace, this one might be worth checking out. Next up, number 6. The Woman in the Yard runs for 1 hour and 28 minutes with a 5.1 out of 10 rating. So it's not exactly high-tier horror, but it has that strange, uneasy vibe that some viewers look for. The setup is simple but effective, where a woman keeps showing up in one family's yard, always uninvited and always with something disturbing to say. Is she a threat? A ghost? A warning? That's the mystery. The more they try to figure her out, the more things spiral into paranoia and fear. It's not full of jump scares or big effects, but it leans into the psychological tension. A creepy in a low-key way, with some praising the slow build while others felt it didn't deliver enough payoff. Well, if you're into grounded horror that plays with dread and uncertainty rather than loud frights, this might be your kind of unsettling slow burn. Moving to number 5. It Feeds clocks in at 1 hour and 42 minutes with a 5.6 out of 10 rating. Not a huge standout, but if you're in the mood for a supernatural thriller with a touch of psychic intrigue, it might be worth a shot. The plot centers around a girl who storms into a psychiatry practice, saying something's feeding on her. A terrifying claim that brings a clairvoyant mother and her child into the picture. As they try to figure out what's going on, the entity's power grows stronger, and they race against time to save the girl before she's completely taken. It's creepy enough to keep you hooked, especially when it dives into the mother-daughter dynamic, which adds a solid emotional layer to the supernatural threat. Some didn't think it hit the mark in terms of scares, but others found the slow-building tension pretty effective. So give it a go, but just don't expect it to be full of over-the-top scares. Coming up next, number 4. Wolfman for 1 hour 43 minutes and a 5.6 out of 10 rating. Isn't exactly setting the world on fire, but it's definitely got its moments, especially if you're into werewolf tales with a slow burn vibe. The story kicks off with a family holed up in a secluded farmhouse just trying to survive when an unknown creature starts terrorizing them. But things get seriously intense when the father begins to change in ways no one could expect, becoming something far more terrifying than just a simple predator. A tense psychological horror with a slow transformation that hits you when you least expect it. While it doesn't go all out on monster action, it keeps you on edge with its atmosphere and subtle body horror. If you're cool with a slower-paced movie that's more about the suspense and the personal horror of transformation, Wolfman could be a good fit. Not a monster movie in the traditional sense, but it has a kind of creeping dread that lingers. Now, number 3. Until Dawn, for 1 hour 43 minutes as well, and a 6 out of 10 rating, which offers up a twisted time loop where a group of friends get stuck in a nightmare scenario, and let's just say things get bloody fast. The plot's simple enough. A bunch of pals are trapped in this freaky loop where mysterious enemies are trying to take them out one by one. The catch? They've got to survive until dawn or risk being wiped out forever. It's a mix of psychological tension and gruesome kills that keeps you guessing. A brutal, gore-filled thriller with enough twists to make your head spin, and that feels pretty spot on. While it doesn't break any new ground in the horror genre, it's relentless with the suspense and doesn't let up on the creepy factor. If you're in the mood for a quick, violent thrill ride with plenty of twists, Until Dawn might be a good pick. As for number 2, The Monkey, for only 1 hour 38 minutes and a 6 out of 10 rating as well. It starts off pretty innocently, but quickly takes a turn into eerie territory. So these twin brothers, Bill and Hal, stumble upon their dad's creepy old monkey toy hidden away in the attic. Classic horror setup, right? But then, strange and grisly deaths start happening around them. The brothers, trying to make sense of the mess, think tossing the toy away will put an end to it all. But it's clear things are far from over. Fast forward, and they've grown apart, each dealing with the trauma in their own way. A slow burn with a steady buildup of dread, which honestly captures the vibe. It's not a high-octane thrill ride, but it works with a steady pace and subtle tension. The monkey toy itself is unsettling, but the real kicker is how it messes with the brothers' relationship. If you're into a more atmospheric horror story that keeps things quiet but creepy, The Monkey is worth a shot. And finally, number 1 on the list. Hard Eyes, which runs 1 hour 37 minutes and setting at 6.1 out of 10 rating. Definitely leans into the unsettling side of things. So, for years now, a killer dubbed the Heart Eyes Killer has been making Valentine's Day his personal hunting ground, picking off romantic couples in cold blood. Now, with another Valentine's Day rolling around, no one's safe, and things are spiraling out of control. The film pulls off a solid mix of slasher vibes with some psychological tension. It has that classic slasher feel, but with a twist, and that twist comes from the killer's unsettling obsession with his victims. The pacing's decent, and though it doesn't completely break new ground, the atmosphere does a good job of making you feel on edge, especially with the whole holiday horror angle. If you're down for a killer stalking couples on the most romantic day of the year, Hard Eyes has you covered. And that's a wrap. I hope you found some terrifying gems to add to your watch list. Let me know in the comments which ones you're excited to see, or if I missed any that should have made the list. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and don't forget to ring the bell so you won't miss any future horror movie recommendations. Thanks for watching, and stay spooky out there.